The mid-season finale of Star Wars Rebels, titled Rebel Assault, begins with Hera leading a daring attack through the Lothal blockade, and while she and most of her squadron manage to bypass the Empire's forces, their underestimation of Grand Admiral Thrawn sees them all shot down to the planet below. The subsequent Imperial search party forces the rest of the Spectres into hiding, but not Kanan, although his valiant and heroic decision to rescue his lover cannot prevent Hera's arrest. This leaves the remaining rebels pondering their next move, one which must respond to a heavy defeat. So now that we know the brief summary of the mid-season finale, let's take a look at everything I personally liked about Rebel Assault, as well as all the things I wasn't so keen on. Kicking off with the positives, and how awesome was the opening to this week's episode. As I've mentioned a number of times before, I'm all for exhilarating action set pieces. So to have Rebel Assault begin with a daring voyage through an Imperial blockade was nothing short of incredible. Dave Filoni and company clearly knew this was the mid-season finale and were all for making it an explosive and memorable one. It was also great to once more see Thrawn's prowess. Of course, everyone's favourite blue alien hasn't really done all that much as of late. In fact, he's been more or less skilled week after week by the rebels. But now we can all take a sigh of relief at how he was both so calm throughout the opening sequence and able to somewhat easily outsmart and outmaneuver Hera and her squadron. Moving on to the negatives, and once again, there weren't too many things that made me want to jump headfirst out my bedroom window. Sure, it seems utterly far-fetched to say the least for the destruction of a single TIE Defender to cause the collapse of 2 Star Destroyers. And of course, Loth Wolves need to learn road safety. Come on guys, what you doing? But the biggest gripe I have with this episode is how anticlimactic it was. This was the mid-season finale, yet it felt just as long as any other episode of Rebels, and its culmination as a result felt completely out of place. Now I know cliffhangers are what hook us all back in for subsequent installments, but now we have to wait until early 2018 to discover what happens to Hera? All I'm saying is that the ending came out of nowhere and it didn't feel as gratifying as it should have. Overall, the mid-season finale of Star Wars Rebels began with a bang, mellowed a little bit, then culminated all too quickly. But at least we all now have plenty of excuses to catch the rest of the season when it airs early next year. To be honest guys, I'm kind of gutted to see this series come and go once again, and for my weekly reviews to suddenly come to a halt. But fear not, early 2018 is not all that far away. Moreover, I will post as much Rebels content as I can between now and then. So for all things Star Wars Rebels, be sure to keep it locked here to the Kangaroo Sounds.